Chapter 86, A Blood Prison. In the metropolis, countless people stared in disbelief. Ye divine needle, you ask me, who do I ask? The battles at the 3 city gates all gave a slight lurch. Chongsheng, Chongming, and King Shikong all stared wide-eyed. Instead, Mo Yaika looked at that Zhong Sanfeng if he was analyzing Zhong Sanfeng's moves. The second army chief climbed up from the ground, his face grim. But even so, the second army chief did not let his anger overtake his brain, and looked at Zhong Sanfeng dead on, looking at the ancient sea above Zhong Sanfeng's head. The spirit stone is running out. The consumption of spirit stones by the 29 heaven and earth vertical and horizontal grand formation was just terrifying. If it came down for a few days and nights, even the great Yuan imperial dynasty wouldn't be able to cope with it, right? This chess formation cloud beast, you manipulated it. The second army chief suddenly looked at Gu Hai, pointing straight to the source. Zhong Sanfeng didn't open his mouth, but Gu Hai smiled coldly and said, "What, scared? Hey, even without me manipulating it, what can you do to Zhong Sanfeng?" The second army chief was slightly stunned. From afar, Mo Yaika was also slightly stunned. What did Mr. Gu mean? This cloud beast, without anyone controlling it, can't it also function? However, he saw Zhong Sanfeng's figure turn and go to the northwest. The second army chief looked towards Gu Hai in confusion. However, he saw Gu Hai suddenly detach from Zhong Sanfeng. With a leap in his figure, another golden chess piece was steeply added to his hand. Snap! The golden chess piece was pressed down, and steeply the northeast of Metropolis City boomed out a rolling fog, and Gu Hai jumped into the fog, while Zhong Sanfeng was steeply trembling. Boom! Zhong Sanfeng burst apart. The spirit stones ran out. Mo Yaika's face changed in the distance. His own bat ancestral cloud beast hadn't even run out yet, but Gu Hai's side had already used it up. Asshole, kid, you lied to me. The second army chief's eyes glared, also knowing that he had been fooled. Probing his hand, he pulled out his bow and arrow and shot his sword towards the northeast fog. Swoosh! The rain of arrows instantly shot into the fog. Taiji circle turn. A loud shout rang out from the fog. Shoo! The rain of arrows turned around and shot out of the fog, turning their eyes towards the second army chief. Boom! The second army chief jumped out of the way, and the rain of arrows instantly shot a crater in the earth. Buzz! The fog dispersed, and in the northwestern part of Metropolis City, Zhong Sanfeng coalesced once again. Borrowing a formation to coalesce Zhong Sanfeng. Humph, I'm not the first Legion commander. I was stopped by you once, and I still want to do it a second time. Second Legionnaires listen to the order. Ignore Zhong Sanfeng, enter the city, slaughter the city, and collect the blood. The second Legion chief's face changed. Yes, the second Legion roared in unison. What? The people in the city immediately changed their faces furiously. Above Zhong Sanfeng's head, Gu Hai's face sank. However, it was helpless. To the west of the city, the first Legion chief also realized that he was delaying his work on Mo Yaika. First Legion follow the order. Ignore this formation, enter the city, slaughter the city, and collect the blood. Yes, the First Legion roared in unison. For a moment, the people of the metropolis all revealed a look of horror. Enter the city, regardless of the 2 large formations at the city entrance. If this were to enter the city, wouldn't Metropolis be finished? Mo Yaika's face also changed wildly, and at this point, no wisdom would be of any use. Your Majesty, Mo Yaika could only cry out in terror. Your Majesty. The people in the city also cried out in terror. Divine Blood Army, the 8 legions. This only came out 4 for can't be blocked anymore. Then there are still 4 that haven't moved. All the people revealed their panic. No wonder Gu Hai and Mo Yaika. The Divine Blood army didn't bother with them. They were useless even if, as they had great means. The people were in shock. The army was already heading towards the city. Gu Hai's face was gloomy. Help, run away. Ah, the devil has entered the city. Help. The people at the entrance of the city were anxious. Qin Zibai came to fend them off, but Qin Zibai was no match for the second army chief, and it was imperative that the army entered the city, just as the bloody killing was about to begin. Ka. All the armies in the four directions steeply gave a slight lurch. All of them stopped, and together they looked in the direction of the west of the city, where on top of the carriage, surrounded by the army in the center, the coffin suddenly moved. Ka 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 ka. The mouth of the coffin slowly opened, and from within the coffin, a storm-like aura steeply rushed out, and as soon as the storm came out, the sea of blood-colored chair in the sky steeply rotated, and the blood-colored chair dragons in the sky above seemed to be steeply infused with countless power. Aengi. The giant dragon roared, a tremendous sound that steeply suppressed the aura of the opposite Dayuan Sheluk golden dragon. Ka 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 ka. All of the Divine Blood armies suddenly made a military salute at the coffin with their fists on their chests. Long live His Majesty! Long live His Majesty! Great Killing Heaven Dynasty! 1,000 years of unification! Long live the Holy Emperor! Long live 10,000 years! Wave-like shouts shot up into the sky. But just this sound, nearly everyone who heard it chilled through their bodies. The great killing scent had awakened. Rumble. The lid of the coffin completely opened, slowly revealing the scene inside the coffin. But inside the coffin, at this moment, is lying a figure wearing a red background gold silk dragon robe, head wearing a flat sky crown, forehead more pasted with a golden talisman. As the great killing scent moved his finger, the golden talisman attached to his forehead steeply seemed to burn up, turning into a stream of flying ash and disappearing. Buzz. The great killing scent Supreme's eyes opened. Boom. From the place of the coffin, a stormy wind seemed to roll up, rushing straight in all directions, and some of the Divine Blood army in the surroundings were even shaken in their figures. The strongest members of the Heaven Opening Palace were all sent tumbling to the east by this aura. King Shikong, Mo Yaika, Chong Sheng, Qin Zibai, all of them had no thoughts of fighting again. Even the Bat ancestor, who was suppressed by Ma Sankai, his face changed furiously. However, he saw that in the coffin, the great killing sage was just lying straight, and then bizarrely stood up, without a single bend in his body. On the head of the Pingshan crown, the pendant beads shook. The great killing sage seemed to have returned to his senses for a moment, and his slightly hollow eyes slowly gained spirit. The great killing sacred supreme fiercely took a deep breath, as if he was feeling the reality of everything. Roar. Approximately tilde 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 tilde. Steeply, he opened his mouth and let out a roar to the sky. Under the roar, the earth, mountains and rivers in the four directions of Metropolis City trembled and rose, and the sound was so loud that it traveled in all directions in an instant. And more than a dozen cities and poles around Metropolis City were all filled with the voice of the great killing sacred supreme. Gu Hai, who was standing on top of Zhong Sanfeng's head, also changed his face. I am back again. Ha 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 ha. The great killing sage steeply laughed aloud and rose up. Long live His Holiness. Long live His Holiness. Great killing heavenly dynasty. 1,000 years of unification. Amidst the 5 million troops chanting. After chanting for a while, the great killing sage stopped, and the voices of the Divine Blood army also stopped abruptly. Stepping on top of the carriage, the great killing sage looked towards the metropolitan city. My central capital, Metropolis City, the Shi family. I asked you to guard this place, but you want to take its place, HMPH. A trace of ice coldness flared in the eyes of the great killing sage. South of the city, King Shikong was slightly stunned. What was the situation? The Shi family is guarding this place. How come I didn't know that? Blood prison. Come out tilde 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 tilde. The great killing scent let out a cold shout. Boom. Steeply, the metropolis city shook violently, followed by rolling blood mist steeply emerging from the city. The blood mist rushed to the sky, instantly filling the four directions, as if the blood mist covered the entire metropolis city. Buzz. Steeply, countless blood mists converged towards the center of the Dao Hall. At the mouth of the Dao Hall, above the sky, a blood-colored long knife floated flatly in the air. On top of the blood-colored knife, it was as if there was a blood vessel pulsing slightly, and a large amount of blood mist was absorbed into the blood knife, so that Gu Hai, who was outside of the city, could feel a great bloody pouncing on his face, an aura of killing all living beings, causing countless people in the city to be frightened for a while. The world's #1 evil blade, the blood prison. Gu Hai's face sank. The blood prison really did have the ferocity of the blood prison. The aura emanated, and even the divine blood army, some of them revealed horror. Gu Hai's imitation sword of yesteryear was far worse compared to the original version of this hilt. The great killing sunt looked at the distant blood prison, his eyes softening slightly. My blood prison, come back, the great killing sage said in a deep voice. As he spoke, he steeply probed his hand out, and in the void, a blood-colored palm shadow was formed, and across a long distance, that blood-colored palm shadow had already reached the hilt of the blood prison. Blood coalesced, and the blood-colored palm carried an unbreakable force that was about to grab it. The great killing sage was going to take back the weapon that belonged to him, the world's #1 evil blade, the blood prison blade. But just as the great killing sage was about to grab his weapon, steeply, from the great jade hall, a blood-colored palm silhouette also emerged, almost simultaneously arriving on top of the blood prison blade's hilt. Boom! The two bloody palms, near simultaneously, boomed and grabbed on top of the blood prison blade's hilt. Inside the great greatness hall, countless people stared wide-eyed. Who was inside the Dao Hall? Wasn't it the secluded great Emperor Shu? The great killing sunt's face sank, unbridled. Rumble. The blood prison blade trembled slightly in midair, both bloody palms grasping the hilt of the blade, both pulling on the hilt in general. The great killing sage was enraged, his bloody palms emitting more and more blood aura as his power skyrocketed by countless amounts. Great Emperor Shu's bloody palm was amongst the slowly changing colors, slowly turning from blood red to white, and in an instant, all around the great killing hall, cold air shot out in all directions, and ice and snow rose up in all directions. Great Emperor Shu's bloody palm also turned into a white palm. Great killing sunt. A faint cry from Great Emperor Shu came from the Dao Hall. The Shi family, the current family head, you dare to disobey me? The great killing sunt supreme said in an icy tone. I, Shu, nowadays, there is also no more Shi family, but rather the great Yuan imperial dynasty. As for this blood prison sword, it no longer belongs to you today. Great Emperor Shu's voice came out in a very flat manner. The white palm steeply blossomed with dazzling white light, rolling white snow, filling the entire metropolis in an instant and freezing up 4 miles. Boom! With a loud bang, the blood prison blade broke free of the great killing sunt supreme's bloody palm and completely landed in the Shu Great Emperor's white palm. Kwong! The door of the great jade hall opened with a loud bang. The ice and snow inside wildly exclaimed out, reflecting the Shu Great Emperor, who stepped out step by step with a white background and gold silk dragon robe, his hand grasping the blood prison blade.